Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Real Talk here on TV 35. I'm your host, Pat Brock, and we're here on the campus of the West Lawrence Raiders. And it is that time again. We are so excited to have the Black Daggers with us. They're going to be doing a special performance, and as you just witnessed, the Raider Brigade just played some beautiful tunes just to kind of get them ready for the event. And now we've got the Sergeant First Classes with us here. This one right here needs no introduction, but we're going to have our man here to the left.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Sergeant First Class Franey of the United States Army Special Operations Command Parachute Team, the Black Daggers. I'm fortunate enough to work with Sergeant First Class Fiegel, also known as the Prince of Parachute, the King of Canopy, and the Sultan of Swoop. That's enough introduction for him. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio myself. Joined the Army in 2003, was a brother to one, and I had a pretty small family, just me, my mom, and my father. After joining the Army, I was, you might have heard, it's called the 18 X-ray program. What the 18 X-ray program is, it takes a person right from high school or a little bit older, and that gives them a chance to become a Green Beret. It's only a chance. You are by no means guaranteed to be a Green Beret. Anyhow, I went through the Green Beret course, and I did get selected, and I'm now a Green Beret and have been for the last 14 years. I've done 7 combat deployments and some other deployments around the world, and have enjoyed every second of it. Now, fortunately, I'm able to work with such guys as the King of Canopy, parachuting for the United States Army Special Operations Command, Black Daggers. What we offer is we just kind of go around the world, the United States, and educate different people about our mission and the Army's mission, about recruitment, and just to show different capabilities that we have.
You just gave a huge spiel there, Sergeant First Class.
Yes, ma'am. I got a lot to say, ma'am.
You have a lot to say. We're going to backtrack just a little bit.
All right.
When you're talking about how you first started.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you're watching, you see these young men and these young women walking these halls today. You were once one of those. And then within no time.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Within no time, I was once one of them. These guys are probably in the school a little bit more than I was. I wasn't the greatest kid. And, you know, but as I got older, I knew the Army would really give me a good direction to go in life. And so far, it's been nothing but great to me and to my family. I now have a gorgeous wife. You know, we live a real normal life. The movies don't portray the Army of actually what it is. Right. You know, it's a normal life. I got dogs at my house, 2 dogs that I love, and, you know, we got a big yard, a nice house, and I go to work 9 to 5 as long as I'm in the country, just like anybody else would, ma'am.
And, you know, and a lot of times when you say the movies don't portray that family the way they do, I mean, I was an Army wife for 20 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I know how that life really works, you know. And so we're just so proud of you, you know, as a family man, as a father, as a husband, a Green Beret, doing what you do here, what you're going to be demonstrating for us here with the Raider Brigade a little later on. I mean, that speaks volumes of you. And of course, you speak other languages. I mean, that's what we're hearing here.
Yes, ma'am. Taqalam Loka Arabiya Aiden. What I just said was I also speak Arabic as well. The military has taught me that. As a Special Forces Green Beret, you must learn another language. It's part of, and you know, you continue to develop that language as you go through your career.
That's wonderful.
Yes,
this is the guy right here. If you ever get lost, you want him by your side.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe not in a Walmart, because I tend to mess around in Walmart buying stuff, but in the woods, I'm your guy.
So it depends on where it is.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
All right, very good. All right. Oh, wow. Prince of Parachute. I mean, you know, you've developed a few titles since the last time we saw you. Kind of catch us up a little bit on your life and what's happened for you and with you this past year.
So obviously our team has grown. Last year we only had 5 members on the Black Daggers. From USASOC headquarters, they decided to expand the team. So they reached out to the Special Forces community, the Civil Affairs community, the Psychological Operations community, and the Ranger Regiment, and said, hey, we need guys to come and make this team bigger. We're currently at 11 members, and now we're in the process of going through another assessment and selection to grow the team to right around 20.
That's wonderful.
So that is actually going to take place in a couple of weeks from now. And it's a week-long process for us. They'll come, and it's a personality check as well as their parachuting abilities, and just to see what kind of, you know, soldier they are, how they work well in team environment, and so on. And from there, you know, they come to the team, and then they'll start off doing very basic stuff, and then as they progress, they'll expand into more complicated parachuting stuff.
Very good. Now this happens does this take place at Fort Bragg? Is that where you're doing that?
Yes, we have a training facility there we use, and we'll go out, and on a typical day of training, we'll jump anywhere from 5 to 8 times in a day. And then we get, obviously in between jumps, we pack our own parachutes, re-rig our smoke canisters that you saw, and we end up doing some night jumps at some point. So they'll rig the pyro that like we're going to wear tonight for the jump into the football field.
And so what is the drawing factor? So, you can recruit all day, every day, but
Yes.
what is it that's the drawing factor to get soldiers that want to take part in Black Dagger? And we want to know, what was your drawing factor too?
Well, the big thing is they're going from being an operational guy to it's a temporary duty assignment, and it's to get out there and to meet and greet the public, to show the public what their tax dollars are paying for.
Now, when you first decided, okay, I think I want to be a Black Dagger, what drew you to this organization? Because you already have so many other things on your tool belt already that you have accomplished. What made you want to take part in this?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I did a lot of skydiving on my own just for fun out at our local drop zone, and I was able to meet a lot of these guys out there, and they're very professional, and I like the message that they portrayed. So, I decided a couple months later that I would like to become one, and talk to them, and went to the selection that Sergeant Fiegel's talking about, the King of Canopy, and just getting to work with the Salt and the Swoop is enough for me to really have a full plate.
As we're hearing these names, apparently you're living up to something. Tell us about your record from jumping, because the Sultan of Swoop, what is that?
Well, that is, they make parachutes like they make cars. You have everything from a sports car to what you're going to see us jump in tonight, which is like a big, slow accuracy parachute. A swooping canopy is a canopy that's under 100 square feet, and it's just a thing that you do. You do a dynamic turn close to the ground, and as the canopy is recovering, you're skimming across the ground at anywhere from, I think the fastest is like 85 on down to like 40, 50 miles an hour.
Oh, my Lord. And guys, what you all do, you make it look so easy, but this is dangerous.
Yes. No, people often say that. We make it look easy, but what they don't see is the amount of practice that goes into it, the amount of hard work that goes into it behind the scenes. We spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jumps practicing for just one show.
For just one show.
Just one show. We do a winter training, so in a few months here, come January and February, we leave, we kind of like, birds fly south for the winter. We go down to either Florida or Arizona, somewhere where it's fairly warm.
Yeah.
And we'll pick a spot and we'll go train. And it's 8 weeks of pretty hardcore training. 5 days a week. We'll do anywhere from 5 to 10 jumps in a day.
And guys, the work that you put into it, all of the back stuff, getting yourselves ready. You've got to be able to make sure everything is done right. It's like you have to be a perfectionist in a way.
Yes, ma'am. You really do. Like Sergeant First Class Fiegel said, it's not a dangerous thing. It's only not dangerous if you know how to do the right thing. But being in the military for years, like most of us have been, you learn how to do all your pre-mission checks, and that's why we have what are called jump masters. And they're the guys that are really qualified above the others, and they're qualified to make those checks along the way.
And how many jumps makes you a jump master?
Ma'am, it can be anything from the minimum jumps is 25, and you just have to go to a school. And then you go, if you graduate the school, then you become a jump master. Yes, ma'am.
And so, you guys travel all over.
Yes.
Is it over the United States, or do you go to other countries as well, or how's your schedule this year?
This year, we've stayed pretty much in the lower 48.
Okay.
For the 4th of July, the Army's obviously in Hawaii, so they brought us out there for a 4th of July celebration. On Honolulu, and we went and we jumped in, and they had like a concert and a big 4th of July celebration. So we were able to kind of get out of the lower 48 for the first time, actually, since I've been on the team. I've been on the team, since I've been on the team since 2014. That was the first time I got to leave the lower 48 to go do something for the team.
And what better place than Hawaii?
Yeah.
And so, with you, the time away from your family. How do you, so when you're in a season to where you are, here, there, and everywhere, how do you still kind of recoup that time or try to make sure that your families are intact?
Ma'am, my wife Ashley, my beautiful wife Ashley, we've been making the best out of it since we got married in 2010. Before I came here, I also deployed pretty much once a year for 6 to 8 months every year. So being gone for the show season is no different to her. We have a real strong marriage, and she is able to come on a lot of these trips, and so we do get to spend some quality time together. Now she's so much kind of over watching us jump out of airplanes, but she does like to go lay on the beach and shop and things like that. So we enjoy our time in other ways.
She's gonna like, oh, you got another jump. All right,
Yeah,
then.
right, exactly.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, she's over it.
Be careful.
We're trying to make sure that when guys get time off, they get time off and quality time off with their families.
Very good. So we're going to take a commercial break, and we come back. We're going to talk about what's going to take place, what's new this year that was different from last year. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back with the Black Daggers.
Every morning, you're up at dawn to take care of the land you love. So are we. That's why Kubota dealers are the best at understanding what you need and sending you home with the perfect machine for the job. We know more than equipment. We know you.
Freeman's Lawn and Garden. Call us at 272-2198.
I'm Locke Wilford, and 0% financing is back at Dublin Nissan.
Right now, the Altima S is as low as $19,429.
Call, click, or come see us. Dublin Nissan, the only dealer you will ever need.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the Black Daggers here at West Lawrence, and we're talking about their lives and in the military, as well as the things that they do when they travel around the United States, and how they, you know, I was going to say entertain, but at the same time, you entertain, you educate.
Yes.
A plethora of things that you do. And so listen, the military is ever present in Dublin, Lawrence County. We've got some things coming up November the 11th at 1 p.m. We're going to be having the Veterans Day Parade. And Sergeant First Class, you want to share what the military is going to do?
Yes, ma'am. It's actually the first time we're doing the parade, as you well know. A lot of the recruiters will be out there. They'll have different handouts to give away and just kind of, educate the local populace about what the Army's really about, and, talk about the available jobs and hopefully draw some attention, and, maybe some lucky people actually get to join the Army after talking with these guys here.
That's right. And, do you find it a little different, the military, is it different now than it was when you first joined?
Ma'am, it's a little different in the respect that I have more rank and stuff, but as far as like my living conditions, yeah, the movies really do a bad job portraying the military as far as like what real life is. Real life in the military is just like real life outside anything else. 9 to 5. Now I have a bigger home, right? Because I make more money, and I made rank, and I've been in 14 years now. So I still feel just as passionate about the U.S. and about the Army as when I joined. So nothing's changed for me. My job is a little different now than it was a year ago, getting to work with the Prince of Parachute and jumping out of airplanes for a living, but I still have the same amount of passion, and it's still just as good.
That's good. What would you say about that?
The Army is an evolving thing. It's a constant living creature. As he said, it's very much like working for a corporation. You wake up, you go to work, you do your job, you come home. The only exception to that is, the obvious stuff. When called upon, we do have to go overseas, and we do have to do what we have to do. So, as far as lifestyles and stuff, it's no different as if you worked for like a big corporation in the United States. You have medical benefits, all kinds of health benefits, and there's other perks in there as well. Yeah. Like they, when I first joined personally, they paid off my college. Yeah. That was one of the big perks, and since then, like Sergeant Franny said, I have a house, I have a truck, I have, and it's all provided for by the Army, just like for a job. So because it is ever evolving, it's just one of those things, that's just how it is.
And, and let me put some words in about as far as the spouses, whether it's a male or female spouse. As a spouse in the military, I mean, it does change us a little bit as far as having to uproot a lot, you know, as far as our career-wise.
It takes a special person.
It does take a special person, and I think that for me, I probably stayed home about 15, 16 years as a stay-at-home, but still hosting the parties and still doing all the FRG stuff and things like that. And so from that perspective, it does require you being a team in order to make sure that you make it in the Army. And I think that when we got a lot of kids here, when they talk about wanting to join the military, you know, I still, like, I give them the other aspect of it too, but that other side of that you need to be cognizant of if you're going to be in a marriage or something like that. And so, all right, now let's talk about what you all are bringing here for the show. I mean, because you kind of mentioned you're going to have some more extra goodies.
Yep.
Tell us about how it went last year.
Okay.
All right, and then what you're doing to get ready for it, as well as what we're going to be seeing.
So last year, leading up to the show, or leading up to the jump, it was extremely windy, and the weather was not looking like it was going to cooperate. Right. Our wind limits are 20 miles an hour or a 10 mile an hour gust spread, and it was all of the above. It was way above that. And I have aviation weather, like what pilots look at on my phone. So I was looking at it, and I noticed there was a little bit of a drop that was supposed to happen right at sunset. And I was like, ooh, cross your fingers, this may actually happen.
Right.
Last year, Sergeant First Class Perky, he was a local recruiter at the recruiting station here in Dublin. We put the burden of provide us for an aircraft. So he got us what he could, which was a little Cessna 182, and you can really only fit about 3 people in that. So that's what we did. We were able to get out, we were able to jump, and everything was a success. And the kids loved it. The school put, you know, the video footage, our video footage on Facebook, and it blew up. This year, Mr. Michael Dukes, the band director, he upped his game. He was telling us about all the fireworks. Fireworks, yeah. After we landed last year, they shot off fireworks. It looked like the 4th of July. Yeah. So he said, I upped my game this year. I doubled what I did last year. And the fireworks company that he's working with, for every one firework he buys, they donate one. So it's literally going to be a twice as long. I mean, he said normally the fireworks show that they have would be a 20-minute show on the 4th of July, and they're going to do it in like 6 or so minutes or something. So it's just going to be.
It's going to be crazy.
Yes, it's going to be going nuts. So for us, I got a hold of the local recruiter here and started getting aircraft, because we actually have a flight detachment. So we're bringing in what they call a C-27 Spartan aircraft. What it looks like is a 2-engine C-130, and it's very fast. So right now, the fellas, the rest of the team, we're putting 9 jumpers in total. So the rest of the team right now is loading the bird. They're up at Fort Bragg, and it takes them about an hour to get here. So they're on their way down here in a short little minute. They're going to land at the local airport. We're going to scoop them up, take them here, let them look at the field, bring them back, prep, and then we'll be taking off about 6:15, and we'll be in overhead. So if you're out on the field a little bit before the game and you happen to look up and see a military aircraft flying over, that's us.
That's you guys.
We're going to climb up to 6,000 feet, and we're going to do kind of a double-layered show. Yeah. That's actually kind of low for us.
For you guys. For
us, yeah. Typically, we'll go up to as high as 13,500. So we're going to send 5 guys out, kind of in a bunch, and then at a certain altitude, they're going to break apart. So it's going to look like it's called a bomb burst maneuver, is what it's called. So kind of like a fireworks, where it explodes and you see it spread, and it's us. And then we're going to have a couple of guys do some what we call parabatics. Parachute acrobatics is what it stands for. We're going to put, yeah.
As he's sharing, he's like, we're going to have a couple of guys. You're one of those guys, right?
Yes.
It's a parachute. Of course it is.
As we're listening to all of this, I mean, for a person like me, it's like 6,000 feet, and then he's whispering, oh, that's nothing. I mean, how high have you what's a normal?
A normal jump man or the highest you can go without oxygen is 13,500 feet, which is typically what we'll train at. We'll also train as low as 2,500 feet as well.
Okay. Okay.
It just depends, different drop zones and different weather conditions provide different targets that you're able to do on that day. So we train in all aspects, and then, we try to give the best performance that we can for, the people on the ground.
All right, very good. Now, you may proceed concerning the acrobatics.
The paramedics.
What is it called?
Parabatics, parachute acrobatics.
Love it.
So parabatics is what we call it. There's another short name called crew, canopy relative work. So anyways, we're going to get out and we're going to put a couple of parachutes together and fly them around, and then those are going to be the flags. So the POW flag is going to be flown in, and the American flag, the U.S. flag. So on our canopies we have, it's kind of the same idea as like a flagpole. There's a pocket on the bottom skin, and that's where the flag is kept. So after the parachute's open and everything's good to go, we'll pull it down and it'll be flying on our lines. It's called a line flag, is what it's called.
This is going to be so spectacular. And if people have never seen this or never witnessed it, they're going to be at awe.
Yeah.
And if you have seen it or witnessed it, you're going to be
Right.
at awe again.
Yeah. A lot of people I've found out, they see, kind of like Sergeant Franny was saying about people, the television does not portray the military. Television does not portray skydiving and parachuting too accurately. They always do silly things, and so when people actually see it for real, they're in awe over it. So that's kind of the idea of what we do. It's an attention getter. So we do that, we land, and then now that we have your attention, then we tell you about how the military is and all that fun stuff.
That. And we love how all of this is going to work together. You all, you partner with the local recruiting, right? Make sure you mention those guys and talk and how you all work together to make sure that this event is what it is too.
Yes, ma'am. We do partner, like you just said, with the local recruiters. Sergeant Fiegel and myself, we come from different backgrounds, all special ops backgrounds. That's what our team is comprised of. One thing is that the recruiters offers, like I said, is the 18 X-ray program. And I can answer questions about anything about special forces for these guys that would like to try to be a Green Beret. Sergeant Fiegel would do the same thing for anybody who would like to be a Ranger. These guys can answer questions about their local fields. And it just, kind of just helps provide that little bit of information, because for all a person knows is this guy's just saying something, right? So we all got a little bit different to give them.
Yeah. But I love how it's all in the family.
Yes, ma'am.
It's all in the family. Ramsey Williams, we're going to see those guys out there.
So that all in the family, that's what this Prince of Parachute joke is. We're teammates, and like teammates, like brothers do, they make fun of each other. And
We love it.
That's
We
all
love
it
it.
is.
We
That's
figured it
all.
was. I mean, because we didn't see your Prince garb. At
Yeah,
least
I
you
don't
didn't
have
wear
a crown or anything. I don't
should,
wear.
though,
I've
right?
been thinking about wearing a cape though.
Yes, or wear something on the inside, like underneath your shirt, to show that
I want to get a cape like Superman. If I'm gonna wear these titles, I gotta have a cape.
You've got to have a cape. You gotta have
We don't wear these titles. Just he wears those titles.
okay.
Nobody else has these titles.
One-man show.
It's a one-man
really.
show, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
One-man show.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
all right.
Of course.
Well, listen, we are so thankful to have you all here. It was great to have met you from last year, to talk about what you guys are doing this year. Such a pleasure to meet you and to have you share with us. I mean, people, the Army is a great place to be.
Great.
Yes,
ma'am.
Look at that right there. Great place to be. But we just are so proud to know you all and to know that you're professionals at what you do. You care about the people. When you're out recruiting guys, I mean, you're caring about these individuals. It's not just trying to get a number to reach your quota. We want to make sure that we dispel that you care about them. You want them to have a good future. You all are living proof that the Army provides a good present and a future for you. And so we thank you for that. Any last words?
Just want to say thanks for having us on your show again. This has been fun.
Thank you. Did I seem weird to you? Did I get
No,
nervous?
no.
I did all right with you?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
because it's difficult when I'm in front of the Prince.
Yes, it is. It is.
we
The
try
camera makes you nervous a little bit.
Any last
Yes,
words?
ma'am. Please come out tonight, and then also please come to the Veterans Day Parade. It'll be a great time.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a
All right,
pleasure
ladies
as well.
and gentlemen, that's all the time we have for Real Talk here on TV 35, and please keep watching.